Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So today I'm going to go through some liquidity numbers that I've put together for DRIP Warriors NFT, and I'm just going to share those with you today to give you guys a bit of an understanding in terms of the impact that DRIP Warriors NFT can have on DRIP price through the actions of the Warrior wallets that we're going to be using through automation. So look, what I've done here is I've pulled together a spreadsheet which is essentially a liquidity analysis of the fountain and the actions that our Warrior wallets will be undertaking to appreciate price, obviously while distributing rewards later on. And what I've done is for this section here, I've basically pulled these figures from BSC scan from the fountain contract in terms of DRIP tokens and BNB tokens, and obviously the price, and this is all at time of speaking. Obviously bear in mind these numbers can change, and we've split this up into sections. You know, we've got obviously this first phase here is where we're going to be from our NFT sales. There's going to be 24% of the sales will be going back to buy DRIP, with another 24% of the BNB pairing BNB with DRIP to add liquidity. So the impact in terms of price action, so I've got these numbers up here, which if we max out our allocation, we'll be looking at around 760 BNB, I believe. So 24% of that is around 182. Then it would be a case of multiplying that out by the BNB to get a dollar value, which is around the 38k mark. And then it is a case of working out based on price how much DRIP that would buy. Now, obviously at current price levels, you can see that would buy around 1.93 million DRIP, which would then obviously be paired with BNB. But more realistically, I believe these due to obviously the inflation of the faucet at the moment, we could see a big change in this supply. So we could be looking at more like 20 million in supply, and you know, maybe 50% of the BNB supply. That is completely possible. And obviously if that happens, that's going to dump the DRIP price from where we are. Completely possible. As I say, I expect the total supply to be around the 200 million mark, and you know, assuming 10% of that would be in the DEX, and you'd be looking at around 20 million in the DEX. And I think those figures kind of stack up for me in terms of where we could be at. But the impact is massive in terms of the amount of DRIP we can buy back. So it's, don't get me wrong, it's not going to be great to be at these kind of price levels. Obviously you can see that the liquidity is you know, come down by quite a lot if that happens. But you know, the upside is that we can still buy back a lot of tokens. So that doesn't worry me too much, to be honest. I'll leave these numbers in just for guidance, but what you can see here is just the impact. So you know, we're pretty much going from 0.05 to 1 cent just on that straight DRIP buy, which, you know, I'm not sure what that exact percentage gain is there. I'm assuming I can put those numbers together. But yeah, so you're looking at around 222% just in that price pump. And then what we'll likely do straight after that is add liquidity, which would then increase the price further, because we're you know, adding BNB to the liquidity pool, which is going to increase the price of DRIP. So that's just from our NFT sales, we're seeing that impact on price. And then, you know, that's bullish in itself, right? But the real bullishness begins in this substage. And the reason the bullishness comes in this substage is you can see over this 16-week period that there's a hell of a lot of actions happening in terms of volume, which are positive actions that are designed to support DRIP. And, you know, we're going through, you know, these actions are going to be automated, as I've mentioned before, and repetitive. And the idea is that over this 16-week period, we're going to split this into two portions. So we've got our shock and awe phase, which is going to be the first, this should be 6 weeks actually, so that's incorrect, but it'll be the first 6 weeks will be shock and awe, and then we move into divide and conquer, and shock and awe is just basically price appreciation, essentially. And you can see, like, you can see in terms of price appreciation, we think that just from our actions alone, by week 16, we can pump the price to around 6 cents, you know, coming from here. That's a big move. I'm not sure how that maps out. It's like it's like over a 1200% gain there. So what I'm showing here is the numbers in aggregate, basically. So you can see just from the Warrior Wallet actions, obviously the impacts on BNB value would be, just delete that out, would be around 345k in BNB. Mapping that out across liquidity, obviously that's going to increase the liquidity as well on the deck. So, you know, if we can get into this position where we've got around, you know, just shy of 900k back in terms of total liquidity, then we're looking nice. We're looking really, really nice, and that's going to be obviously the objective here. And then in terms of supply reduction, you can see here from these actions, we're looking at around 13 million drip that we believe we can reduce from the fountain supply by just locking up, buying drip, locking it up, and sacrificing drip, you know, from our actions alone. It's around that number as a nice round average. And then obviously in terms of price appreciation, we're looking at around 1200%. Now, as I say, this is based on our actions alone. This doesn't take into account any of the buy and sell pressure. I'd fully expect, like, if we can promote this as much as I want, that there'll be a lot of hype around this, and we'll probably see the drip price go a lot higher than this. You've just seen, like what I've shown with these figures, if there is buy and sell pressure, we're just going to buy back more drip. So it's, you know, once you've got this automation built in, it honestly doesn't matter so much if people are going to sell, because we're just going to buy it back through our subscription model. So, you know, these figures are detailed. You know, these are all populated from our subscription projections, and I'll admit, obviously these numbers are based on maxing our subscriptions, and that's why the idea is just to promote heavily and make sure that we do that and get to that stage where we can do that. So look, what I'm showing here in these numbers is just assuming your existing drip holder, how much value you can get in the form of price appreciation from the actions that we're undertaking. So look, if you're a bronze holder, you know, you don't have to be a bronze holder, but say, like, typically a bronze holder will probably hold less drip than, say, compared to a silver or gold. But in this respect of bronze, say you're holding 20k drip, and assuming, you know, this value, this price ratio that I projected out here, then your holdings would be in the region of $100, right, on that 20,000. Then what I'm showing here is just the impact in terms of price appreciation on that 20,000 just from our actions. Now, obviously, this doesn't take into account external buy and sell pressure, but nevertheless, this is showing the value of what we're bringing. And I'll scroll down to the bottom, and you can see here we're like a 12.3x gain over the 16 weeks from shock and awe and divide and conquer. And you know, you can extrapolate that out across silver and gold as well, and it's, you know, the X's are going to remain the same, but obviously in terms of a dollar value, it makes sense. And when you look at this and you think about how bullish this is, just think about how much buy pressure that could actually bring. Like, I don't care what the price is at by the time we do this. If the price is at, you know, 10 cents by the time we do that, then it's at 10 cents. Doesn't matter. Like, we're going to still do these actions. But my point is, if the price drops to these levels, you know, if the price drops lower than this, we're still going to do the same thing as well, as long as we can get the people on board who are willing to support it. And as I say, this isn't including sell pressure, but as I've shown you, as I've shown you here, if we do have sell pressure, then because of this, see here, where we're buying drip, all these areas where we're buying drip every single week, you know, if there's sell pressure, we're just going to buy back more tokens and lock up tokens, which all that would do, it would just increase the amount of drip, the supply reduction on the DEX, which is bullish. That's why I say this model is so powerful once we get it working and in operation. And you know, this is just price appreciation I'm showing you. I'm not even showing the rewards yet, and I don't think I'm going to share the rewards because I don't want people to hold me down to rewards. But all I can say is I will be giving a rundown in terms of the percentages and how it's going to split, which makes it bullish for any NFT holder in this model. You know, these are just projections, and just showing people that there is a reasoned case for what we're doing. It's not just you know, not thought through essentially. And you know, this is for maxis. This is for maxis. You know, if you have to look at the upside, because you know, as I've explained here, in terms of price appreciation, there's clear upside from where we're at. You know, even if we map out the numbers that were previously on the DEX, you know, the 10 million, or this is the numbers that are currently on the DEX at the moment, roughly, very high level, might be slightly around 2 cents, I believe we're at. And even from this position, so we're saying 20k drip at the moment is worth around 450, around a grand, and then 100,000 around 2 grand, right? So we're still looking at exponential price increase of around 5x, like based on our actions. Like that's, you know, it's beyond bullish. And whether or not that's over a 16-week period, that's, you know, it is what it is. But at least you know that there's a project here which is actually going to be supporting drip in a big way. And I just wanted to share this with you guys so you can see, you know, the thinking behind this, essentially, the impact on price and why it is worth it, why it is worth subscribing. Now, we will be going through some more stuff as well, which will cover where we're at in terms of development. We've got a promo video coming out soon as well, which is pretty much just marketing, really, just to be able to kind of spread the word out there. We do need some assistance in really pushing this forward. As I said, we're in development at the moment. There's still a way to go. This isn't going to come out straight away, but everything's considered with what we're doing. Spent a lot of time going through numbers, mechanics, making sure things align. It's not been you know, quickly slapping together a few numbers and a contract and a UI and then just, you know, and it's live. You know, it's none of this forking action. This is an innovative idea which is essentially feeding into the existing drip contracts, and that's what I like about it. It's feeding into the existing drip contracts, which is bullish, and which is why I think most people, OGs, whoever, should be supporting this concept as an idea that can help drip. We're adding fresh capital, we're adding liquidity, we're removing drip, which I haven't touched on with sacrifice. So with sacrifice is so bullish because we're just going to be obviously removing drip from supply with sacrifice. That's not having a direct impact on price here. It's not going to have a direct impact on price. But what it is doing is it's going to start sending a ton of drip to the tax vault. So it is going to have an impact on supply. And also what we're doing is we're incentivizing people to start playing as well. And I can tell you now, on the bronze, silver, gold tiers, the way we've switched things round to make it bullish for rewards and on the sacrifice is absolute fire, because each of those tiers are going to start accumulating bonus rewards in drip, which we still need to decide where we're going to allocate that. It's likely that we may try and incorporate some kind of single staking for drip or drip BNB where we can start allocating that, but that's still to be decided, so I'll keep you posted with. And I think that's it for now, guys. So I do try and keep these videos short, but they seem to always stretch around the 15-minute mark or just beyond, so apologies for that, but hopefully you stayed around to listen. And take care, all of you, and I'll hopefully see you on the next one.